So Buzzfeed has a brand new popular video that's making the rounds about Disney princesses revealing secrets. It's suddenly become all the rage. And there's some information in there that's not quite so good, so I figure I probably ought to address the video and some of what is being said in it. So if you haven't seen it yet, Buzzfeed has a brand new video out entitled Disney Princesses Reveal Secrets About Disney in it. And I'll leave you a link in the description. I'm not going to actually show you the video because it does go backstage, behind the wall of magic, and lets down some of the barriers that I don't really like to do. You're not going to see me do any of that in this video, don't worry. But there are definitely things that I want to talk about that the video addresses. In particular because after it's already got over 600,000 views, it definitely has a number of things in it that some misinterpretation, some misinformation, and a few things that are just blatantly wrong in it. Since I know a lot of my viewers will have seen this, I really wanted to address a lot of those for you. Again, if you really want to see the video, there will be a link in the description. I'll be honest though, I'm not sure that the video is necessarily worth watching, and I just kind of had it referred to me. I was like, oh, wow, okay. To give you an idea, the video starts off with one of these people immediately saying that if all the princesses had Twitter, they would hashtag #MeToo. Which is actually probably true, but we'll talk about that later on in the video. The first part of the video, of course, is everybody introducing themselves. And you have several people who worked in entertainment, worked with the characters, worked closely with the characters and were good friends with some of them. So you have several people that should have an idea about some of what's talked about in the video. At least almost all of them in that way. But then there's one guy, the only guy, a gentleman named Tim. Remember that name, you're going to hear it a bunch. Who had nothing to do with the characters. Tim was actually a gentleman who worked the front gate entrance at Hollywood Studios. And suddenly thinks he's got all this knowledge and he doesn't have a clue. He starts calling himself a creepy security guy, which I don't know why on earth he would think that letting people into the park makes him creepy security. But it kind of gives you an idea there. And Tim's going to be kind of my major source because he stands out for all the wrong reasons. And a couple of the others as well. Now, part of the reason I want to address it too is, like I said, a lot of them worked with entertainment, worked closely with the characters, which was an area that I worked as well. Now, I was on the other side of the camera. I was the photographer watching and observing and helping these interactions take place. So a lot of what they're talking about, I actually know because I was there, but from a slightly different perspective. So there is a lot of the same commonalities in that regard since I was with PhotoPass. But I also wasn't just in that one role. I was actually out in the parks as well. So I was on Main Street, I was on Hollywood Boulevard, I was in front of the Tree of Life. I was out interacting with guests in a lot of other areas, in a lot of other circumstances. I know what it's like to work the street during parade. I know what it's like to deal with customers that are having an issue and a problem. I know things that about dealing with customers and guests that people working in entertainment would not know. Because it wasn't something that they would have been exposed to. It wasn't something they had to deal with. So there are a few spots where they're doing their best to give information that just isn't accurate because they plain and simply didn't know. They didn't have to do it. So with that, let's kind of jump in. I'm going to go topic by topic, the same topics they address. By the way, if you hear the little clicking and clacking running around, that's just my dog having a good old time. So, first question they address. When is the best time to visit Disney? And a couple of them give some good advice here. They mentioned early October. Good time of the year. Still a little hot, but nice time. One of them mentions right after the holidays, January to February. Perfect time to visit. The weather's good. The crowds are lighter. It's going to be about as good a time to visit as you're going to get. So there is some really good information. And then you got Tim, who just comes in Mr. Utterly Clueless. And he starts to say that he wouldn't see people in October for whole half-hour stretches. Well, that's because Tim was up at the very front entrance of the park, and once about 1 or 2 o'clock hits, nobody else is coming in the park, and nobody's leaving yet. So the reason he didn't see people was because he was looking the wrong way. And if he turned around and looked into the park, he still would have seen plenty of people. Not anywhere near as empty as Tim makes it sound. Although it is a slower time. Well, like I said, we're going to have lots more on Tim later. As a good example of utterly how clueless Tim is, he says that the best time to visit the park is from early afternoon to evening, which is the exact opposite, wrong, dead wrong thing that you could say, because that is the busiest time of the day at any park. He tries to say you can walk into the park at that point and walk right on Splash Mountain, and you're going to have the longest wait of the day on Splash Mountain at that point. That's because people have already entered the park and they haven't left yet. They're not leaving to go take afternoon naps. Very few people do that. They go open to close and they're there all day. They might arrive late. They may leave a little early, but they're there in the middle of the day. So basically, if you watch this video, anything that Tim says, you've learned already, is just wrong. Ignore the dude. But that's why I'm going to keep addressing him and not ignoring him. Pretty much whatever he says about time and behaviors and stuff. Next question they come up. What are the secret places only the cast knows about? Well, of course, the very first thing, and really the only thing they talk about here, is the utilidors, which is something that I have talked about as well. The utilidors are the tunnels under the Magic Kingdom. They're actually the first floor of the Magic Kingdom, and then they built the park over on top of it. So they had the level ground, they built the utilidors, then they built Magic Kingdom. The reason they do that is because Florida is all a swamp. The whole state floats on a high water basin. So if you dig down and you try to put a floor underneath, like an actual basement, it's going to flood because the water table is going to come up. It's not going to work real well, especially with a larger area. So you can't dig down and put in a large area. They got to build it up. So it is not because the state floods a lot, as one mention says. That's not what it is. There are only 2 parks with utilidors. The Magic Kingdom, which has the largest one, and then there is a smaller one at Epcot that actually goes under the Innoventions area. That's it. One of the cast members, or former cast members, says that there were 3 parks. No, Hollywood Studios does not have one, neither does Animal Kingdom. Sorry, it's just the 2. Although Disneyland has a very small one from what I hear underneath Tomorrowland as well. But that's in California, not in Florida. And then out comes Tim. Mr. Hollywood Studios gate attendant says, "Oh, well, they're dark and creepy and kind of scary, and you see these creatures half-dressed walking around." And no, Tim. Maybe if you actually walked in the utilidors beyond maybe an entrance door. The utilidors were very well lit. They were large, they were wide, because they're driving around pergos, which are essentially large golf carts in it. People are walking all over the place. It's very well lit. There's all sorts of facilities in there. There's nothing scary or creepy about it. Now, there do tend to be a lot of electronic ducts and tubes and things up on the walls and the ceilings, because they've got all the wiring there. But it's not scary or creepy. It's actually kind of fascinating for the most part. The other thing that I blame this on Buzzfeed's bad editing, one of the ladies is talking about the wardrobes and the dressing rooms and the break rooms and all of these things that are under there, and then she mentions there's even a subway. And the way Buzzfeed cuts it, it makes it sound like there's actually a subway train under there. No, there is not a subway train. There is, however, a subway. It's a Subway sandwich shop that is actually in the main employee cafeteria under the Magic Kingdom. And in fact, every single Disney park there, they've got all these big cafeterias, and all of them have a Subway sandwich shop in it. So it's not Subway like they make it sound. It's a sandwich place. And sorry, no $5 footlongs there. Sorry, Buzzfeed, I'm going to give you a buzz for bad editing on that. Next question they talk about. What can guests get for free? Okay, I have to be entirely honest with you. This is the part of the video that really kind of ticked me off. Well, I know, kind of strong words, but it really made me kind of upset. Because everybody that's talking in their video never had to do anything with what we would call guest recovery. And basically what it means is to take a bad situation and recover it to make it a good one. They all dealt with the guests when they were visiting characters, or for Tim at the very front gate when they're walking in. They never dealt with the guests when there was actually an issue going on or a problem, and they would have never had a guest actually walk up to them and say, "Hey, can I get something free?" Please don't ever do that. I had people do that to me as a photographer. I watched people do it to people working the shops. I watched people do it to the ride attendants. And I can pretty much guarantee you, if you walk up to a cast member at Disney, or any theme park for that matter, and you say, "Hey, give me something free," the answer we're going to give you is, no. We might be very nice and polite and, "Well, I'm sorry, I don't really have anything to give you. There's nothing available right now. I don't have that ability to do it." We're going to talk around it, but the short answer is no. And honestly, it's kind of rude, and it's just a wrong thing to do. Now, we did have ways of finding ways to make magic, to offer free things. As an example, if somebody spilled their popcorn or their drink, okay, we could get you a free replacement because you're really not gaining anything. If we saw somebody that had a legitimate issue or a problem, if I had a guest come to me and they were having a problem, okay, I'm going to do everything I can to fix that problem and make it better. And there are things that a cast member can do to fix problems, to address them. And if that cast member can't do it, then they're going to take you to guest relations who can do even more. Because we want to make sure you have a good experience. We want to fix issues. So if you have a real legitimate complaint, issue, or problem, yeah, then they're going to be able to do something. There are times, too, when we would look for somebody that was being really nice, really special, really cute, and going out of their way to do something that, hey, we might reward that. But it's not because they were asking. If they had turned around and asked, "Hey, I did that, can I get something free?" Nope. Because we're not going to give it to you if that's what you're after. But if you're doing something not expecting it, just, enjoying the day and not asking, not expecting, well, hey, then maybe there's an opportunity to make a little magic. And that is the point of it, is to make something magical, to make something extra. Please don't ask. The honest truth is, if we have freebies to give, we're saving them for people who aren't expecting them or for people who need them, not for people who are just wanting it because. So, next thing they ask, how should people act when they meet a Disney character? Okay, now here they hit it out of the ballpark. This was great advice because they were all involved in that area. They give several little bits here which are actually wonderful advices, and several of these things I actually address in some of my videos, such as my FAQ in meeting Disney characters. So I'm just going to hit them really quick. Things that they mention that are good. Play along with the characters. Go along with the storyline. Relax. Have fun. Act naturally. Be yourself. Within a couple limits that I'm going to talk about in just a second. Be nice. Be friendly. And be quick, because there's a lot of other people waiting to see that character as well. So don't take forever. Don't direct the interaction. If you're dad, and it tends to be dads who do this, although moms occasionally, don't direct. Don't tell everybody what to do and how to do it and where to go and when to get there and try and chase the pictures. Knock that off. If you're not going to get involved with the interaction as somebody who's just talking to the character, then step back and be quiet. And let the character or the attendant helper or even the photographer take care of it. They will give any instruction that needs to be done. They will help direct and interpret and whatever else. And let the people involved have fun and relax and enjoy it. Don't need to direct, okay? Just be a happy participant. If you walked up to the Queen of England, you're not going to tell everybody around her what to do, are you? Well, think of it that way. And trust me, the cast members will take good care of you. One other very good point that comes up is don't give an infant, baby, or young child to a character. Don't do it. Don't hand it to them. Don't ask them to hold it. Don't try to put it on their lap. None of that. Either hold your own child nearby, or you can put it on the floor with the character and they can play that way. One, you don't want the character to accidentally slip and drop the child. I never saw it happen, thankfully, but it was a worry, and you don't ever want that to happen. You don't want the child sitting on the lap and sliding off. I did see that happen a couple times, and thankfully the child wasn't hurt, but it was because the parent was putting the child on the lap and the character hadn't even had a chance to save the child before they let go. Don't do that. Hold your child. The other reason, too, is because If you've ever had babies or little ones, you know that occasionally there is an explosive whoopsie, and you really don't want the whoopsie all over the character and having an uh-oh, and it's just not a good moment. Help avoid that for the characters and time out because of it and everything else. Yeah. So, don't give the characters your kids. Hold them next to them. Next one they ask, what should guests avoid? Okay, and here comes Tim again. Tim starts talking about where characters are and when and why they suddenly appeared. Let's just say Tim shows his complete lack of understanding and ignorance about where and when characters are and why they're there and what's really going on. And I'll just leave it at that. Good advice they do give. Don't use the restrooms up front of the park. A lot of people, they get in the park and they immediately go to the restroom and it's packed and it's long lines. If you've got to go when you get to the park, wait a few minutes and walk into the park further. There'll be less people there. Same thing when you're coming out. At the beginning of the day, the end of the day, those front restrooms have long lines, and so skip them. Get further in. One other thing they mentioned, too, is guest meeting times. Characters are not out all day to meet the guests. They're there oftentimes in the morning and through the early afternoon, but then come late afternoon to evening, they will often head back in and head off to do other things. So if you're wanting to meet characters, don't expect anywhere near as many characters in the evenings. They'll be there early in the day, so that's when you want to go see them. You can always find when and where characters will be with this. Disney has an incredible app that actually shows you when and where the characters are, and it will list almost all of the character interactions on their app. So look up the Walt Disney World app. It will tell you. There's also listings in the Times Guide when you walk into the park as well. And if you're ever looking for a specific character, you can actually go up to any cast member with a phone, such as the merchandise cast members in the stores, and they can actually make a phone call for you and let you know when and where the characters will be. And that will help you find that out. So the next question, and these next two do kind of go behind the scenes, a little bit behind the magic, but I'm going to do my best to keep it safe. Have you ever seen a character asked out? They ask it a little different, but that's basically what it is. And here they talk about how many people treat some of the characters, especially the princesses, inappropriately. This is where that Me Too hashtag comment comes out. Because I have seen people try to give, especially the princesses, intimate hugs, kisses, sometimes on the hand, sometimes on the cheek, patting them, touching them, asking them out, trying to get their phone number. I hate to tell you, most of the princesses don't have phones because when they lived, there was no such thing. And honestly, the way I see people treat the princesses, it's kind of creepy. When you see somebody come up and try to propose to the princess. Okay, I have seen a few times where it was really kind of funny because family was there and there was joking and it was obvious it wasn't serious and, you know, that was okay. But I have seen some people play it kind of serious as well, and ew! Especially when you realize that, like, Snow White is supposed to be 15, and Aurora is 16, and, you know, guys, really? Kind of icky. Unless you are a little boy, and sometimes a little girl, and I mean like 4 or 5, you're not going to get a kiss from the princesses. They don't give out kisses, and ew! They don't know who or what you are? Ew! Really? I mean, okay, think about it this way. If you don't want some big, ugly, creepy guy doing this to you, don't do it to them. They are normal people with normal feelings, and they don't know you from anybody. Behave, act appropriately, act decently, treat them nicely and respectfully, and you won't have a problem. Don't hit on them. Don't flirt with them real heavy. Okay, now I know Minnie flirts with all the guys and Mickey flirts with the girls. Floats. Wow. But do they flirt when they float? I don't know. Keep it appropriate. It's one thing to say to the princess, you know, wow, you are very pretty. It's another thing to go, dude, you're so hot. Ick. Go away. Knock it off. Nobody wants that. The next question, the last one, where do people go to hook up? Okay. if you really want to know a nice answer to this question, go look up the book called Mouse Tales by David Koenig. It's got some good stories in there. It has some factual information. There are some stories out there. Now, I have to be honest with you, when I worked at Disney, I would occasionally catch people making out in some odd places. We kind of got to know where the usual places that they were trying to go were. And the one thing I want to tell you is, any place you think is private isn't. Disney has cameras everywhere. Pirates and Haunted Mansion, all those places you think are dark, oh no, you're on camera the whole time. Behave. People also seem to have this impression that there are people making out all over the place. That they're behind the scenes or backstage or in the break rooms. And no. No, they're not. 99.9% of the people there are there to work. They're there to get their jobs done. And they are too busy to be bothering to think about some of this stuff that's going to get them fired. Okay? They're not back there misbehaving just for stuff. Now, does that mean that there isn't an occasional person? No. Hey, a lot of people work at Disney are teenagers in early college. It's what that age does sometimes. It's what older people do when they haven't learned to control themselves. But it does not happen all that often. And if you're caught, you're going to get fired. People don't want to get fired. And again, here is where Tim, lovely Tim, really reveals his character in full. Because Tim's talking about what he's looking for. He wants to go find all these places for him and his buddies to go smoke a joint, smoke some weed, and then he starts talking about going into other places where you're trespassing in closed areas and in dangerous places where there used to be stuff that isn't there anymore. So you've got Tim wanting to break the law to smoke weed, and Tim breaking the law going into no trespassing zones. Tim is dumb. Don't be Tim. Keep it safe, keep it smart. Don't go looking for private hookups. You ain't going to be hiding the way you think you are, okay? And it's not going to be all around. So that's basically the end of the video, thankfully. And there were a couple bits that were interesting. I liked what they said about meeting with characters. But frankly, there was a lot of misinformation. Information about things that they didn't know about. Things that they didn't deal with. And then there was just some blatantly wrong information. Now, a couple of them in there were really good. And I have to tell you, I really am impressed with the lady who was the front of Tiana. Was actually a really impressive part of it. I was very impressed with what she did and how she was actually talking. She had some great advice in it. She really did. And I thought that was really neat. But other than that, most of what was in the video was just kind of bleh. So if you feel like you really need to go see it, you can, but it's a Buzzfeed video. I guess we shouldn't be surprised that they've got a lot of stuff wrong and a lot of inaccuracies, and it's all hype with nothing much real in it. So, if you want to know better about some of the backstage secrets, you really got to dig in. Look for the Mouse Tales books by David Koenig, or skip that video. There are other people on YouTube who produce much better videos. If you want to know who some of them are, check out my channel homepage. There's several of them listed there that I am subscribed to, and you can find some great information on the parks from them. That would be my best suggestion. Skip Buzzfeed. Buzzfeed's a joke. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this, and hopefully you learned just a little bit. And my thing is bouncing all over the place here, because I want to show you who she is. And it's just not going to let me show you. Whew. My video program. Wow, I'm getting all sorts of weird stuff happening. In any case, Tiana... I'm just going to have to edit this. If you haven't subscribed yet, hey, hit that button right there. If you want to see another great video of mine, check this one out right here. And if you want to be like these wonderful people and help support me on Patreon, well, hey, check out that button right there.